Oh, I got some news for you. Got some news. Fresh, hot. I didn't even make any new gameplay footage. I gotta delete this though. It's getting stale. I don't care. I just had to come out and say this. It's here. The salvation. You don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to feel pain, alone, sad, like you're misunderstood. By the way, my headset's probably gonna turn off, so I'm just gonna. There we go. It just so I'm gonna be sounding like weird throughout this news segment, ladies and gentlemen. Azure News apologizes for these technical difficulties, but I just had to come out and make another video tonight. Happy Friday, everybody! I hope you're all doing well, and I want to say to all you lonely guys out there, to all you guys who find many criticisms with the lady folk of your era. I propose, no, I extend a solution to you. A solution you will find most applicable. Yes, I have found your soulmate. Ladies and gentlemen, the lonely men, the men of Rehab Room, of Incel TV, of all the lonely, dark places on and off the internet, the interwebs.
Your soulmate has arrived. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The T app. And I'm just getting antiquated with this. So it's like an app on the Apple Store that anonymously rates men. So like somebody could take a picture of me, right? And then they'll be, oh, like this guy, and he's like he dated this guy, this, or these girls. For me, it'll be like, oh, he's dated all these guys. Like, even though I did. But it's like, okay, so like for other guys, right? Like, okay, if he's like unfaithful. I was about to say infidelity, but that means that like you guys are gonna get married and stuff. But I also think that also factors in. And then also if guys have diseases or if they're dating other people or etc. Right now, as this is it was viewed as a very misogynistic application aimed towards vilifying men, whether truthful or not, right? These people on 4chan, and you might have heard that name before. See, Shia LaBeouf back in the day was a very vocal person, and he challenged these individuals of unknown acquaintances to, I don't know, some kind of challenge, and they like thoroughly humiliated him for like years, and he like went crazy because of it. Oh yeah, it's because of something like Trump, and then he said something like he will not divide us, and then like people just made fun of him constantly, and everybody laughed at him because it's like whether or not you agree with 4chan, like they did see justice through to its end. And okay, here's my take on this. Okay, I'm not the most attractive guy in the world. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like I am. That being said, I know my place when it comes to throwing insults, like who I am, worse looking than, better looking than, you know what I mean? Like it's my inner monologue, call it, perspective ignorance, if you will. So when you have an application that, well, in the eyes of these 4chan individuals, was seen as unfair and like unjustly judging them on their appearance, they lashed out. And the way they did that was, well, they, I guess, doxed these individuals. So how this would work was, according to the YouTube videos talking about this, they had to have entered their actual identification, and their information was leaked to these hackers, and then these hackers went out of their way to anonymously post their pictures. And my oh my, we are living in the golden age. We are living in the golden age. Let me tell you why. Now, a lot of people are gonna laugh and have their like, whatever, right? Like their little kick at like, the undeserving deserving, right? Like they don't really deserve to be, insulted more than they are because like they were expecting anonymity or whatever to protect them and it didn't. So that, obviously, well, it's just backfired on them, so to speak. But also like, so I was pushing myself to get through this rehab room video today, and it was the usual criticism of women. Like I think at one point, like I had to stop the video, and he did the thing where he's showing a guy's face and like these measurements to it, and it's like this like V type shaped face, and I'm like looking at this guy's face, and I'm like, I'm not trying to say he's ugly or anything, but I'm like, this guy looks like a cartoon. This guy doesn't look real. Like if you were to tell me that the picture that you're showing me right now is like a computer generated image of a person, I'll be like, yeah, sure. I mean, even if he wasn't, like, would I care? But like that emphasis on a man's appearance, that like criticism, that hyper observation, that like most people, it will just go over their heads. Like, yeah, he's okay, I guess. He's good looking, he's bad looking, whatever. But to these incels, these lonely men, like that is their passage, their the path for their happiness, and this is where their salvation comes from. Like these women on this app are criticizing men who fit this template. I kid you not, they fit the template of these so-called archetypical Chad-esque, misogynistic, whatever type men, right? And they both have the same like they're both hypercritical of them. Like it's almost as if they're both in a way sexualizing them. Like they're jealous of their capability, if you will. Well, where women are in the way of like prevent a preventative measure, the men are like they want to enable themselves to have what they have, but they know that, whatever genetics or whatever excuse they want to throw out there isn't going to work in their favor. And it's kind of beautiful and poetic seeing both of these two groups of people, separate, male and female, how similar they are. It's almost as if they have something in common. Yo, Hassan, dog, you should hit up that T app, man. Stavros has got a point. You got to start up a family, and you got problems with them guys who are on the wrong side of history. They're so wrong with their chiseled exterior. What was your favorite flag again? It's holding up the AK-47. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but who are you saying it to? Who's around you at that table? Are you impressing that one girl at that table? You're like, you know what? Gotta prove to this lady over here that these alphabet people, these the Rainbow Tribe, they can't hold me down. My name is Hassan Abi. I am the number one man on Twitch. I and I alone am better than Aspen Gold. Not that, you know, cockroach infested, you know, a nice person. You think you can be unclean? I'm a son. I dress as cool as I am. And yo, dog, how is it that, and I know a lot of people are going to give me hate for saying this, but how is it that you have like peoples, right? Like the iDubbbz content cop video on Ethan, right? And all these people starting in that specific video, look just like these people on this T app, bringing up all that shade on all these mans and stuff. How is it that they look so similar? So unbelievably, remarkably, almost ironically the same. Like, and it's so stark. It's so like eye opening how we've come so far. I've made so many videos. Well, not really. I'm not special, whatever, right? But I talked about this in length. And if you or anybody else is having doubts about this, I mean, I suggest you take a look at these YouTube videos coming about this T app and the men who were getting doxxed and the women who doxed them. Because once you see, I'm like, I will always often like say to people who especially get like, very upset over certain aspects in life to consider the source before passing judgment, whether it's upon yourself, the situation, or anybody else, right? Just always consider the source. And in the case of this T app, I want you all to consider that the source of most of this world's problems are the unvocal people in this world, whether they're male or female. Okay, this isn't like a gender-based issue, right? But when you have people in the corners of the internet, incels, these women who they themselves are very much incels, um, you have, these people puppeteering and utilizing, methods and means to spread dissension. Like Hassan is talking about all these crazy things about the Jewish people. Like I think the craziest thing he said, and I said this in a previous recording, and then I had all the electromagnetic static aforementioned in the previous video. Um, so Ozzy Osbourne died, God rest his soul, and he had to chime in. He Hassan the loser had to chime in. And what did he say? Well, of course, I don't like Jewish people. Like we didn't know that. Like you don't say that almost on a near day-to-day basis, like a fucking loser that you are, right? But for you to throw that in there over on a dead man, on his grieving family and all that stuff, and if or anybody else, whatever, but you got people listening to you, you got a following, you know what you did, right? Like sometimes I wonder if you just lack the courage to kill yourself or hurt yourself or something. That you just want somebody else to do it that badly. You just seem as if you're a perpetual coward in that extent. Like you have the self-loathing that you will never admit to. And much like, Rehab Room, Insult TV, and these lonely ass guys and these lonely ass girls that are coming out, you will criticize people that you secretly admire. Like in the case of Asmund Gold, like you said in length before that you have admired his work, but you find criticisms with him because let's be honest, you have a mental disposition, man. Like you don't understand how to communicate with people, and because you have this I don't know, due to inbreeding. Thanks for watching my videos, by the way. I don't care if you jump on that VPN or whatever for and shadow ban my stuff. Dog, I am one of those guys that's always going to be around. I just play video games. I speak my mind, and you guys have found true love and happiness. You have something in common. You don't necessarily care about your appearance. Think about it. You don't need to, constantly dye your beard, a different color. You can just keep it excessively gray. And all the other guys who, find fault with all these, chads and all these genetically superior men and women, they found their soul match, their soulmate. So everybody, honestly, happy Friday and find your true love and happiness. It's out there for you on the T app.